Hi guys, Colin here from Compass Physio. So our latest blog discusses how we can reduce the risk of injury that can result from overtraining or doing too much basically. And it doesn't have to be training for a marathon or something like that. It can be something as simple as, doing painting or gardening or something like that. So basically what we're going to talk about is 5 ways to reduce that risk. Because if we overload the body isn't going to have time to adapt and it's going to break down, so you're putting too much stress on it. So a couple of the simple tips for that is, one would be to start cross training. So if you're training for the likes of a marathon or an endurance event, it's really good to mix it up a bit. So for example, if you're training for a running event, you could start off with adding in a yoga session once a week, or even some cycling once a week. That would be really good, just to give the muscles a chance to adapt and rest, so they can adapt to the load that you're putting on. Also, if you're doing something as simple as gardening, don't go digging for 2 or 3 hours. Mix it up a little bit. Dig for half an hour and then do some potting or whatever for the next 30 minutes. So it's always important to mix it up. The next thing, if you're thinking about avoiding risk of injury with training, is to look at joining a club. When you join a club, it increases the social aspect of things and it makes things more enjoyable. And you'll also meet people who will have also done the injuries that you want to avoid. So it's a good way to get that knowledge coming from them. So yeah, you won't make the same mistakes as they do. The next thing is, if you can get a coach or talk to an expert in the field that you're training for. So for example, I'll go back to running again. If you're a runner, go join an athletics club. There's some really good coaches out there. There are also some really not so good coaches out there. So do your homework on your coach and mix it up a little bit with the coaching as well. So the next thing that we want to talk about is planning. So for example, if you need to dig your garden, don't dig it all on one day. Plan to dig over 2 or 3 days, so you're mixing it up. If you want to go train for a 10k over the 10k event, don't try and run 8 kilometers the first night that you're training if you haven't ran in a year, because you're just going to get injured because your body is not used to that load that you're putting on it. So it's all about the load that you're putting on the body. Okay, so evidence suggests from recent research done that if you put any more than 10% usually over the course of a week, and this is just rough figures, but evidence is suggesting that if you put over 10% over the course of a week, then you are going to cause more damage. So for example, if you're running 10 kilometers a week at the moment and you increase to 13 kilometers the next week, or you increase to say 15 kilometers, you've basically increased your load by 50%, so it's too much. So a good increase would always be 10%, which would be 11 kilometers on that one. So don't overdo it. And the next thing, as humans, we've survived for thousands of years. The way we've survived is we've listened to our bodies. One of the best ways our bodies communicates with us is through pain. So if you're feeling pain, it's your body's way of telling you that you're doing too much. So that's all the advice on that one, guys. Colin from Compass Physio. If you have any questions, feel free to give us an email, info@compassphysio.ie, or just check out our website, www.compassphysio.ie. Thanks very much.